Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? What's good, man? I'm here right now because it's a certain narrative that we got people putting out about Zopound, right? And just like I said, if y'all been following me from the beginning of the time, y'all know that what I've been doing, I've been pushing the brand. I've been trying to give a platform to the original members of Zopound, give them their rightful flowers and everything. You know what I'm saying? Some cats took it as it's something else, you know what I'm saying? But my heart was pure, and that's neither here nor there. But last night I was going through my YouTube because I had just did a YouTube and I ain't been on it for a minute, and my YouTube, the StreamYard, it wasn't paid up. So I had to go pay everything up. And you as you can see, my intro, I didn't do my intro because this ain't about my song or what I'm trying to do or whatever. This is about the narrative that people is trying to paint for us, the original Zopound and the people of Zopound. Now, this dude from Hood Archives, he put together this right here that I got behind me. He put this here together and it's supposed to be about Makaza. This is what he was trying to base it around. He said that people been asking him about it, so he put this together about Makazo. But the thing is, if you're gonna be a journalist, if you're gonna do journalism, you're gonna do podcasting, you gotta actually do your homework and make sure you get all the facts and stuff straight about what's going on. You got original members right now that you can link up with, and basically tell the real story about the pound and how the pound was created. And right now, I'm kind of digging what's going on because it's making people come out of their shell and actually stand up. Some stuff that I've been trying to do since I've been home is trying to get people to stand up and speak their voice themselves. But you know what I'm saying? They had their own reasons of why they didn't do it. You know, I can't dictate or, you know what I'm saying, or say why they did or didn't do it. Whatever they did, they felt that it was in their best interest of doing it. But I'm gonna play a little bit of this and I'm gonna stop it in snippets to give y'all breaks because I don't want them saying that I can't do this or I can't do that, or people trying to hit me because they didn't give me rights to use it or whatever. So every so often I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna let it soak in. I'm gonna break down what I know and try to clear up facts. So I'm gonna let y'all go with this, right?
On live. When I saw that name pop up, I knew this one was different. So let's talk about it. Miami, 1990. You want to know how feared these dudes really were? By 2003, Sony Pictures had their name in the Will Smith movie. Big budget, 273 million. Will Smith going at him. Martin Lawrence chasing him through the streets of Miami. And here's the wild part. Nobody asked permission. Nobody paid for the name. And Hollywood never really explained why they used a real crew like that. That ain't even a flex. That's just what it was. They ain't wear colors, ain't throw signs, never even admitted they existed. Most of them told police they were just, quote, a movement about Haitian pride. But that's not the full story. This right here is about the man who helped build one of the most low key, hardest to track organizations Florida ever seen. His name,
But okay, I'm gonna stop it right here, right quick, right? So as you can see that he come on and he say that it's about Mac. You know what I'm saying? It's about Macazo. This is what this is supposed to be about, Macazo. And for some reason, as he was speaking, he talked less about Macazo and he talked more about Ali. And this get me to think that Ali was either behind this, you know what I'm saying, that what this man's saying, because everything that he's saying, he's verbalizing what Ali said in Vlad videos or in Cam Capone videos or Art of Dialogue videos and stuff. You know, he's not really talking about Makazo, but this is supposed to be about Makazo. This is supposed to be about Zoe Pound. And one thing that I'm gonna show y'all on this right here is how he going he'll have a split, just like we all been telling everybody that Ali was not a part of Zoe Pound, right? If you listen to this, he gonna separate Ali from Zoe Pound. He's never gonna tell you the connection of Ali and Zoe Pound. You know what I'm talking about? Because even though he associated with him, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to take that from him. He did associate with him. They did have dealings what they did together, but for us being a founder and all of that of Zoe Pound, Ali wasn't. That's what people is saying. That's what people is trying to get everybody to see, that he was not a founder, he was not a leader of Zoe Pound at all. He was an associate affiliated with the boys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna run some more.
Depending on who you ask, was McCary LaFontaine. But out on the streets, they called him Mac or Zoe. And this is his story. This story doesn't start with Mac or Zoe. It starts on a boat, December 12th, 1972. A leaking 56-foot wooden sailboat makes landfall at Pompano Beach, Florida. 65 passengers aboard, 3 weeks at sea. Some traded their shoes for food in Cuba. Some were briefly jailed in the Bahamas. All of them, every single one, believed America would be different. They were arrested the moment they touched shore. No welcome, no processing, no asylum hearing, just handcuffs and a holding cell. That was America's greeting to the first documented boat of Haitian refugees to reach South Florida. And that was just the beginning. Through the late
See, that was what they speaking of was back in the Francois Duvalier regime days, right? When it was a lot of political unrest going on back then, and there was a lot of people that fled. This was back in like 19 in the 1950s, 1960s. You know, that was the first wave. Then you had another wave that came in around about the 70s and the 80s. Then you had another wave that came in through the 90s. You know what I'm saying? 92. So I would just want to clear that up. You know what I'm saying? This is not where he's talking about Mac and them came in. You know what I'm saying? Because Mac didn't come in on the boat. He didn't come in. As a matter of fact, Mac he was born in Nassau, Bahamas. But anyway, that man, he'll tell you his own story. I'm just breaking down the misprints and the misleading statements that this guy here is making.
70s and into the 80s, they kept coming, fleeing the Duvalier dictatorship, fleeing political persecution, fleeing poverty so deep it had no bottom. They came on boats that weren't built for open water, in storms that didn't care who survived. Nearly two-thirds of all foreign-born Haitians in Miami arrived in the 1980s. 40% between 1980 and 1984 alone, and almost 20% of them, 1 in 5, were 14 years old or younger. Children arriving in a country that had already decided what it thought of them, and what America thought of Haitians in the early 1980s was not kind. In 1983, the Centers for Disease Control publicly identified Haitians as one of the 4 primary risk groups for AIDS. Not a region, not a behavior, a nationality, an entire people branded on federal letterhead as a biological threat. Think about what that does to a kid just trying to make it through middle school in Miami. You already the one speaking Creole, already the one whose lunch smelled different, already the one getting called banana boat walking down the hallway. And now the US government just told everybody your people got disease. Think about how that hits. They called it Haitian Friday, coordinated attacks on Haitian students at Miami schools, organized.
And that's wild because you got some FBA cats that try to speak on this here, like, oh yeah, they did it, you know what I'm saying, because the Haitians was doing XYZ. You had grown folks, man, attacking kids back in them days, homie. You know what I'm saying? You had grown folks attacking kids back in them days. And so the thing is, this man, fact, he's taking some stuff like this here is documented. He did do his homework to come up with documents and all this. But when it get down to the part where he get to talking about, saying Ali, Macazole, saying other people and what's going on, that's where I'm finna start speaking and actually breaking down exactly what he's speaking of, because this is supposed to be about Macazole. He's trailing off and he's giving what's supposed to be Macazole. I don't know why people always try to put Macazole with Ali like they was a team or something. That wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? But here we go.
Nice, repeated, expected. Kids who knew what day it was would brace themselves before the bell rang. That ain't just a rough time. That's a whole war being fought on a generation of kids. Now, into this world, a family arrives. Ali Adam was born in Haiti to a politically connected family. When the regime changed, as regimes in Haiti always eventually did, the entire family was targeted. No time to plan, no time to pack properly. They fled by boat, three aunts, two cousins, lost at sea before they reached Florida. The crossing took everything, the kind of loss that doesn't leave you. It just becomes part of how you see the world. He was 9 years old when he arrived. 19 people in that family pooled everything they had, scraped together $40,000 and opened a supermarket in Carol City. The Carol City supermarket, legitimate, hardworking, proof that the dream was still possible. This is where Little Haiti took root, a neighborhood north of downtown Miami, named by an activist named Vita Just.
Now, as you can see that he just flipped up and he's talking about Ali right now, right? But this is what he just flipped up there because he's not even listening to what Ali said, and this is what crosses narratives, right? Ali stated that when they was in the refugee camps, his mama had like a slip and fall, hurt her back, got cashed out some money, and with that money, she started the supermarket, right? So this man just turned that and stated that they all pooled together their money and got the supermarket. You know, I don't I don't understand how people can flip up what a person is saying and make it into their own narrative. And I still don't understand how Ali even came into this picture. But one thing I do know is that Kenny Williams, when he was dealing with Ali, Kenny Williams didn't put no 10-year old dude as a lieutenant, as this man about to say.
Wrote a letter to the Miami Herald proposing they call it Little Port-au-Prince. The name stuck. A whole community built on refusal, refusal to disappear, refusal to be ashamed. But here's the part about Little Haiti they don't put on no brochure. Right outside that store, right in front of everything that family was trying to build, there was a whole different world. Dudes with rope chains, Benzes parked out front, money that definitely wasn't coming from selling rice and beans. And right there in that doorway, a 9-year-old kid just standing there watching. Years later, Ali Adam would say it plainly. To me, if I look back, it's like they became the visual of what I wanted in America. That boy's name was Ollie, but there was another boy not far away, watching the same streets, drawing the same conclusions. The published record calls him Macari Lafontaine. A more recent interview gives a different name entirely. The streets would come to know him differently.
All right, let me stop it while it's at the blueprint, right? To let y'all know that Ali he came up in Carol City. He didn't come up in Miami. Well, Miami City, the city of Miami, right? It's still Miami-Dade County, but it's not the city of Miami. Little Haiti is in the city of Miami, right? Carol City is a whole nother. section, that's on over, right above Hallelujah, what I'm saying, that Miami Gardens area and stuff. That's where he come from. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how he just said that Macazo seen the same streets, because Macazo didn't see the same streets. Macazo, he wasn't going to kick it in Carol City. Shukun was the one that brought Ali to Little Haiti and introduced him to the pound. So this dude, his stuff is all flipped up.
Before there was Zoe Pound, there was somebody else's empire. And before there was somebody
And then it killed me that this dude is constantly saying Zoe Pound. Zoe Pound. It's Zoe Pound, homie. It's Zoe Pound.
else's empire, there was a 10-year-old boy watching from a doorstep. His name was Kenneth Williams. But Carol City didn't call him Kenneth. Carol City called him Booby. And Booby, let me be real clear about this. He wasn't no street corner hustler. Booby was an architect. The man put together an $85 million cocaine operation, moving product across 12 different states. His crew, the Booby Boys, got tied to at least 35 murders. And later on, federal prosecutors said it themselves. This was one of the most dangerous operations South Florida had ever seen. And every single day, Booby Williams posted up in front of a Haitian family's supermarket in Carol City. Rope chain, Mercedes, money that announced itself before he even opened his mouth. Ali Adam was 10 years old when he first saw him. 10. And here's the thing I keep coming back to. This isn't a story about a bad kid making bad choices. This is a story about a child with extraordinary intelligence and zero legitimate infrastructure, watching the only visible model of success available to him and making a completely rational decision. He wanted in. Booby made him a lieutenant, 10 years old, a lieutenant.
Lie. And that's the whole part of what I'm saying. That's the, that's the lie. He wasn't even dealing with Kendall Williams situation that he had going on. And for him, this is what I was talking about with the Vlad interview. If y'all ever seen my Vlad interview breakdown, this is what I was talking about. He shouldn't have never even spoke on Kenny Williams at all. Nothing about Kenny Williams. Them dudes is still, they still got appeals and all this in. True, false, whatever. It go towards them and them having a fighting chance of coming home. So being a street dude and thinking like a street dude, if you talking about somebody, especially somebody that you say put you on, and somebody that you admire, and somebody that was big in your presence, and you looked at him on a certain status, you supposed to been took that as a man and been like, man, say, check this out, curve that shit. Man, say, Vlad, that's that man's story. He'll be home soon to where you can give him an interview and he'll tell you his story on his own. That ain't for me to speak of, you know? That's how he should have curved that. But he wanted to make himself look big, hollering about he was a lieutenant at the age of 10. That man didn't put him as no lieutenant at no age of 10. He didn't put him as a lieutenant at the age of 10. But hey, let him tell it.
Lieutenant, running shifts, managing people, handling $79,000 at a time, and taking home $3,000 just for that. You want to talk about an education? That's advanced level training right there. Logistics, people management, money flow, all taught on a street corner to a kid. By his early teens, the Operation Ollie was running reached Jacksonville, Savannah, Atlanta, Mississippi, projects and trap spots stretched across the Southeast, all feeding back to Carol City. Now I want you to really sit with that for a second, because this is the part where it gets easy to judge, and the part where that judgment don't really get it. This kid had already seen his family lose 3 aunts and 2 cousins just trying to cross the ocean. He watched them come here, build something the right way, and still stand in that doorway like nobody saw them. And then right outside that same door, there's a man who figured something out, a man who found a way to matter, to have power, to actually be seen. The system didn't fail Ollie Adam. The system never showed up for him in the first place. Booby eventually went federal, convicted in 2000 on all charges, 35 murders attributed to his organization, 5 tons of cocaine, 12 states, life without parole. The son.
Now, let me clear this up. The reason why he got life without parole is because they hit them boys with the RICO. They done went and got different crews. They got Kenny Williams in his operation. They done went and got Plex in their operation. They went well Plex. They was from Little River. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you got Fat Wayne from Upper Locker. Then you got Miss Sue and Bo and Nard from overtime. You see what I'm saying? So you got different dudes from different places, even though they was cool and they dealt with each other. They had a little spot, 15. You know what I'm saying? You had 15 Ave, right? That's where a whole lot of the big dope boys and stuff used to be, and they used to kick it. And everybody was everybody that had their cars, they come out there and they flex, right? So they was getting it out there, and a lot of these dudes met when they was in juvenile and stuff, you know, Bavard, wherever they went to for a juvenile, they meet up and they become friends and they get to linking in with each other, right? And that's how Kenny Williams met Efo and all of these cats, right? And they started dealing with each other, but they was all separate crews. And so the feds hit them with the RICO and tied them under one conspiracy called the Booby Boys. Kenny Williams never went by Booby on the streets. He went by Black Boy, you know. But right now, people know him as Booby, you know. So they were trying to say that they dubbed him as Booby, and then they had the Operation Booby Trap, and they put all of these dudes with it and try to call him the ringleader of all this. So that's how they got him with the life without the possibility of release. That's why it was so detrimental that Ali got on Vlad and basically said what he said when he hollered about he was working for the organization at the age of 10 and he was a lieutenant because he wanted to make himself bigger than what he is, right? So let's keep it going.
Sentinel covered the sentencing. The feds called it a victory. What they didn't put in the press release is what happened next. The Carroll City projects, the physical geography of that entire world were being torn down. Redevelopment, urban renewal, whatever name they put on it. The community that raised these men was being systematically dismantled. And if you know Miami, you know what gets built when poor neighborhoods get cleared out. It ain't community centers. The Booby Boys were gone. The John Does were taken down the same year. Two of Miami's dominant street organizations dismantled inside of 12 months. And into that vacuum, into that sudden, enormous silence, stepped an organization.
Them boys, they finna get ready to do some stuff. I paused this because to let y'all know, man, be on the lookout because them boys they putting stuff together right now, and they finna get ready to actually start telling their side of the story. You know what I'm saying? They finna start putting themselves out because they tired of the narratives that's being painted on them wrong. You know, this is some stuff that I've been trying to put out there to them since I've been home. Even before I came home, I'm like, man, y'all can't let people paint the narrative for y'all. Y'all, if you're not gonna stand up and tell your story, you can't be mad at another person for telling your story and taking all the publicity that come with it and fattening their pockets and going somewhere. So I'm happy that cats is standing up and they taking their stands to try to tell their own narratives and profit from what they already created. You know, it took a long time, but hey, we got to start somewhere. Everybody's still not on the same playing field, but we trying to do what we can do. You know,
That had been quietly building for nearly a decade. No colors, no tattoos, no hierarchy you could put on a chart and hand to a jury. Just 19 people who had found each other in a juvenile detention facility in Sabre Palm. Just the word ZOE that meant bones in Haitian Creole. Just a conviction forged in a cell that they would never again be the ones getting jumped on a Friday. The vacuum was real, and 19 people were already waiting to fill it. It didn't start in the streets. It started in a cell. Sabre Palm Juvenile Detention. Early 19.
That's a lie right there. Starting off top, we're gonna cut that short. That's a lie right there. Zoe Pound didn't start in the prison system. That was the Zoe movement, the coming together, and you know what I'm saying, that started. And the Zoe Pound started on the street from Saber Palm. It was a project, Saber Palm, right? And from Saber Palm, which is the project, you had a group of cats. You probably had like a few cats. People try to think that Zoe Pound is this big extravagant thing with all these Haitians and stuff. Zoe Pound was a small group of homeboys that started slanging work out of a trap house on 56 and First. Then they came with the record label, but y'all gonna get to that. You know what I'm saying? So that's Zoe Pound. Zoe Pound never expanded outside of Little Haiti, you know. So to get into the fundamentals, if anybody wanted to know, you know, that part of it, Zoe Pound never expanded outside of Little Haiti, and it wasn't no hundreds of people. I say it was probably. I'm gonna give it about 30. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it about 30 cats. But I could be giving it too much, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't no whole lot of cats like people think that it is. But let's
90s.
go.
Boys cycling in and out. 2 months, 3 months, back to the neighborhood, back again. The state of Florida's answer to Haitian Friday, to Carol City, to a generation of children the system didn't know what to do with. So it just kept locking them up and releasing them and locking them up again. And in that facility, something happened that nobody planned. They found each other. Ali Adam tells it plainly. He's 9, 10, 11 years old, cycling through Sabre Palm on minor charges. And he
This this here, every time they talk about this dude, it just throw me. You in Carol City. The man didn't come, he didn't come to fucking Little Haiti and meet the real pound until like what 96? You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around about there. 95, 96. Zoe Pound was created in 95. It was established before he even met these dudes, you know? So how can he be a founder of something that's just like Christopher Columbus saying he founded and he discovered America, right? So how can you discover or be a founder of something that's already founded and established before you even make it? That's the puzzling part. We're not saying that you didn't deal with the dudes. You was an associate of them at one point in time until you did some slimy bullshit, you know. But the thing is, they trying to say at 9 or 10, he was coming to save a palm. Now think about this. Ali, he's probably like what? He's probably like 50, 51 now. He's like 50, 51 now. So that means if he was 9 and 10, that was like in the 80s. He didn't come to Saber Palm until I mean he didn't come to Little Haiti until like 96. So this dude got his whole journalism screwed up and messed up. And I'm telling you, these cats is finna start speaking, and you're gonna hear it for yourself.
stops meeting boys from a different part of the world. Boys from Little Haiti, from Sabre Palm itself. Chub, Joe, Annie Poe, Out Go Go, Happy. A young man the streets would come to know as
And the
Macazore.
pool.
The published record calls him Macari Lafontaine. A 2024 interview gives a different name entirely. Even his identity
Yeah, so
stays
and the
hidden.
pool. And the pool.
Here's what Ali said about those early days, and I want you to hear this carefully because it reframes everything that comes after. They ain't never had no war with no Americans. They going through it with some Haitians. The original,
That's when he was trying to throw Zopound under the bus and make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, man, them dudes is beefing with their own people because you had Haitians way in New York, way in Boston, way in Chicago or in Atlanta and different places. They were feeling like Zopound gave them something to come together for us being Haitians and humane and all that. And that's how they looked at the pound. So he knew this, So he tried to throw them under the bus and discredit everything that people knew them as, and was like, "No, these dudes, you know what I'm saying? They were going to war with their own damn people. They against their own damn people." That's basically what he's trying to paint. You see what I'm saying? So
Conflict that forged Zoe Pound was not black versus Haitian. It was Haitian versus Haitian. Internal, territorial. The brutality of scarcity turning people against their own. What they built in response was a stronghold, not a gang, not yet, a collective. 19 people who decided that whatever happened on the outside, they moved together. They gathered addresses. They noted names. They established inside a juvenile detention facility the foundational logic of what would become the most secretive criminal organization in Florida history. And they needed a name: ZOE, Bones, Haitian Creole for the hardest thing in the human body. Ali again. It come from really fighting in jail. They don't make a dude numb. Dudes still start cultural situations within jail. Bones don't break easy. Bones survive what flesh cannot. You could beat a Zoe. You could lock him up, but you could not make him soft.
this
That
man
was the
steady saying
declaration.
Zoe.
That was the entire ideology compressed into 2 letters. The History Channel's Gangland documentary would later confirm it. Pound, power of unified Negroes in divinity. Zoe Pound, hard to the bone, unified in God, no colors, no tattoos, no initiation beatings, no gang signs you could photograph and put in a police report. If you were Haitian,
With that, I don't know why they had Jeffrey Epstein paperwork on her. Cass, Cass wasn't dealing with no Jeffrey Epstein, man. They got Jeffrey Epstein paperwork on there. If y'all go back, when I get through with this here, y'all go back, y'all gonna see Jeffrey Epstein paperwork right there. I don't know what the hell that was. This dude, he's getting pictures and stuff from different parts of Florida and different parts of here and trying to tell a story and cook up a story. I understand, but it's so many pictures and images you could get to create your story, homie. And he started showing pictures of people he don't even know. That's why I think he got them pictures from them pictures of Thump. I think he got them pictures from Ali. You know, I think he got them pictures from Ali because he started showing the pictures of Thump, but he's not even talking about Thump. He's talking about supposed to be talking about Makazo, but the majority of what he's saying is about Ali.
you were already a Zoe. You didn't join.
He was
You were
already a
born into
Zoe.
eligibility. That organizational design, that deliberate invisibility was not an accident. It was genius. But here is where the crack appears. The crack that runs all the way through this story from founding to collapse. The History Channel documented it. Makazoe saw movement, Haitian pride, cultural protection. Ali counted money. Both of them were right, and they were building the same organization for completely different reasons. And organizations built on that kind of contradiction, the crack doesn't close, it widens. 1990, 19 people, one word, Zoe, ain't no founder. Ali would say 30 years later, ain't no founder word. Who got more money? That I understand. Makazoe,
And the reason why he said it ain't no founder was because we was already putting them out that yo, what's good? Shay Payne, what's happening? Yeah, what the reason why he said he started saying it ain't no founder is because we started putting it out that the dude was not a part of Zopound. You know what I'm saying? He was affiliated with the boys, but he wasn't a part of Zopound. Now the thing about Ali, Ali had motion. Ali got his own story. We nobody ever disputed that. Ali, he was doing what he was saying he was doing, right? But when it come down to being the founder of Zopound, he's not. When it come down to being a part of Zopound, he's not. He's nothing more than used to be an associate. That's what Cats is saying. That's what people are trying to put out there. But you know, it's just like this is social media. Social media have their own ways of seeing things, and they're gonna go with their own narratives of what they see fit. You know what I'm saying? So Cats just going through this thing, man, trying to clear up inconsistencies and all of that. That's all that is. You know. Uh He just tried to say that Ali was the brains and Makazo was the muscle. These dudes wasn't even linked in together like that. They probably linked in and by cats being scared of Zopound, they probably get stuff off through Ali. You know what I'm saying? Have Ali to buy it off them and he go do whatever he do with it. But he want to link himself to a street movement. This is what people fail to realize with Ali when he got to talking. He stated that when he was looking at Kenneth Williams and them hustling in front of his mama's shop, he stated that he seen that that was the way. That's how they got propped. They had all the women, they had all the cars and stuff. So to get your salute and stamp is to get them to sell his work out in the streets. So he started dibbling and dabbling in the streets. Bam, selling work, right? He didn't have no street, you know what I'm saying, respect. But Zopound did. So when he had the opportunity to meet the actual Zopound, that's when he started rearranging stuff. And then when everybody got snatched up, he was still out there. So he tried to run with the name. That was the whole reason why him and Lil Wayne even had the bumping that they had. Because Lil Wayne knew who the real Pound was. You got to think about it. They did that project chick in Saber Palm. So Lil Wayne knew who the real Zopound was. And when Macazo and all them got locked up, boom, he was still out there. So he tried to run with the name, and Lil Wayne wasn't fucking with him. So he was trying to basically shake him down. That's what that was.
We would have told you something else entirely. That difference, quiet, ideological, never fully resolved, is the engine of everything that follows. The Zoe Pound was born, and nobody outside of Saber Palm knew yet what that meant.
You heard what he just said. Nobody outside of Saber Palm. So Ali, he's from Carol City. Saber Palm is in Little Haiti. He's from Carol City, which is outside of the Miami city limits. So that right there, he just separated and basically told everybody that Ali wasn't a part of fucking Zopound. He wasn't a part of them boys. So while Cat started trying to go with these lies this man is putting out, and then he tried to holler about, well, they said, Vlad said I was the founder. I didn't say I was the founder. No, the police said I was the founder. I didn't say I was the founder. You a damn lie because in that book, Zopound Mafia that you had to do Jerome Atkins to write, you told that man that you was the founder of Zopound. It's right there in your own words. It was nine of y'all, well, it was 19 of y'all that established it. And you established it when y'all was playing when y'all was playing a dog pound record and they hollered dog pound and Big Chubb was like, man, fuck dog pound, this is Zoe pound. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it, he wasn't there. He heard about shit. And I know the dude that actually gave that to him, and that man is gonna start telling his story. That man have a story within himself. So I'm not gonna say his name or nothing, but when y'all hear him speak, y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, this is the guy that Shada Zoe was talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is who he was saying. Oh, okay, this is the dude that was talking to him and gave him that food right there. He wouldn't have known nothing about the pound if it wasn't for him. But he wasn't thinking that Ali was gonna do it with a fucked up heart. And so he was a cool dude and he fucked with the wrong dude. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to take what he said and build his own brand from what he was telling.
By 1993, the 19 people from Sabre Palm had become something else entirely. They had a headquarters, corner of Northeast 56th Street and First Avenue.
That right there is not the White House. This is not the White House. You know, this is not the White House. I don't know. This dude just putting images out, and he circled it like this is their headquarters. This was the White. This ain't the White House.
Little Haiti, a house, they called it the White House. And if you drove past that corner and didn't lower your window, didn't identify yourself, they would shoot up your car. Welcome to the empire. Here's the part about this time that really gets me. While the FBI was building files, while Miami-Dade had eyes on everything, Zoe Pound was out here doing something nobody else in South Florida was doing. They were throwing parades, old school Chevrolets, candy paint, oversized rims, Haitian flags hanging from every window, snapping in the Miami heat. They would pull these convoys up outside high schools across greater Miami, right as the bell rang, and just sit there, visible, proud, unmistakable. Think about what that meant to a Haitian
Look, stop
kid
again.
who's been absorbing Haitian Fridays
He
since
keep
middle
on
school.
flashing thumb pictures for some
Suddenly,
reason.
here are your people, loud, beautiful, untouchable, parking outside your school and daring anyone to say something. Before long, Haitian youths across South Florida were wearing Haitian bandanas, not because Zoe Pound told them to, because Zoe Pound showed them they could. Whether you call it gang recruitment or cultural reclamation depends entirely on which side of that school gate you were standing on. For the kids inside, it looked like something else entirely. But 1995 brought a rupture. The feds put Zoe Pound on the front page, wanted for 40 bodies. Several prominent members panicked. They publicly denounced the violence, split off, and formed a rap group under the same name, created distance, created deniability.
That right there, they said they split it off and started a rap group because of the 40 bodies. This dude got that stuff out of the paper. In the paper, it stated that Zoe Pound was wanted for 40 bodies and this here and that there. You know what I'm saying? Macazo, he was already look and he wanted to be a rapper. So they formed a group basically around Mac. And that's when they brought in Red Eye G Child, Blind, you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, the rap group was big. You had Jump, you had all type, you had a lot of cats, man. And it was like the Wu-Tang clan of Miami. That's how big it was. But they had to break it down and Mac even went to Def Jam, almost had a Def Jam contract. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say all that stuff, man, is gonna be saved for them boys to speak their own logic to what's going on. And then at the end of this, I want y'all to see what he said about Mac. He trying to say that cats came in on boats and stuff. Ali came in on the boat. You got cats that came in on planes. Mac didn't come in on the boat. He came in on the plane. So just to straighten that stuff out, man, this here was a clown move on bro. You know what I'm saying? For to put this here out and not have all the facts lined up. And if you're gonna speak and when you can actually reach out to people and get the full narrative of what you're trying to paint, and you can create it the right way, why you gonna try to throw this here one sided and keep on talking about a dude that had no dealings, you know what I'm saying, as the founder, as he say he is, he was no founder or nothing with Zoe Pound, but you steady talking about what he said and what he did. You know, there's a lot of stuff that went down with the Pound, with Zoe Pound, that Ali don't know nothing about. He got that information from somebody.
Ali Adams' take on it was
Look,
blunt.
Ali
The
Adam
40
again.
bodies, he said that had nothing to do with them. The split happened because some people couldn't handle the heat. Mac or Zoe didn't split. Mac or Zoe stayed. That decision defines him.
They said that they split it off and started a rap group, right? Mac and Zoe was the face of the fucking rap group. So that right there tell you already that this here is bullshit. You feel me?
Completely. Now, the Miami River. I need you to understand something about that river before we get into what went down there. The Miami River had already been a drug route since the 80s. So dirty that back in the mid 80s, Miami cops themselves got caught pulling cocaine straight off boats and then flipping it. At one point, 3 people drowned in a single raid just trying to get away. That river had blood on it long before Zoe Pound ever showed up. What they did was industrialize it. Throughout the late 1990s, they boarded ships carrying Colombian cocaine into the port of Miami, took crews hostage, robbed the shipments. According to law enforcement records, witnesses were eliminated to protect the operation. No loose ends. March 5th, 1997. Six armed members stormed the freighter at the Miami docks, crew taken prisoner. According to investigators, what followed was brutal. The ship, an entire book about it. ZOE Pound, Port of Miami boat robbery, under his own name, from experience. If the river was the muscle, Haiti was the vein. From 1998 to 2005, verified by federal indictment, ZOE Pound transported over 1,000 kilograms of cocaine from Haiti to Miami, boats, and American Airlines flights.
Then they keep on saying that Ali Adam he had something to do, you know what I'm saying, with the boat robbery and all that. That man didn't have nothing to do with that, you know? He didn't have nothing to do with that. He had his own little supply going on with his uncle that was transporting him. And he snitched on a lot of people. We already did the paperwork on that. But yeah, man, they started throwing this man in the mix just because he's speaking and he's saying whatever. And that's painting the narrative because if he's the only one speaking, people gonna start listening to the person that's speaking the most. The other people ain't standing up, is defending themselves. So who's to say, goddamn it, he's lying? You know what I'm talking about? So
Pre 9/11, the method was almost embarrassingly simple. Suitcases on commercial flights, corrupt workers inside the airline. Federal prosecutors later documented the scale in their indictment. The numbers were staggering. Ali described it simply. Before 9/11, that was sweet. You could do that every day. They even had a copy inside. Ali's uncle, Gary Jerome, a Miami Police Department crime scene investigator, used the official vehicle, moved at least 125 kilos, sent millions back to Haiti. Two other officers fled the country when the arrest came, never caught, still out there somewhere. Then in 1999, Mac Zoe was arrested for allegedly shooting two Haitian men. But here is the detail that reframes everything. Those men had been placed under the organization's internal protection code, the don't touch law. You put a man under that code, nobody touches him. Nobody. McAzoe allegedly touched them anyway. The organized.
one thing about that, Mac didn't have no dealings with that, right? Everybody already know that, but the police they painted a narrative because they wanted Mac gone off the streets. So they went and traced down Mac and they had a dude to sign a deal just to say that Mac was the shooter. He seen Mac or whatever. Um, but turned around, the dude recanted his his statement. So we still on a free Macazo campaign. We still trying to push stuff, and that's another thing of why I was pushing so hard when I came out about the movie and about trying to put these books out and really tell the true story about the Zopound name is because we got Mac that's incarcerated and that man is doing a life sentence locked up in the state prison in Florida. And so he's locked up for a crime he didn't commit. That man ain't talking to nothing. That's why he despised Ali so much. If you're gonna be if you're gonna be in the streets, man, and you're gonna holler about you this and you that, and you trying to be the Billy Badass while you actually got motion going on, when it's your time to sit down, man, you take your lumps and you sit down and you do your time like a man. But Ali, he couldn't do it, and that's the code that Mac stand by. So if you rock with Mac, Mac he look at you as being the same type, you know. But not everybody's cut from the same cloth, you know. But if you live in that life, if you in the streets like that, man, that's you got to take both sides of the curve. But Mac, he's locked up right now for a crime he didn't commit. He got a lot of he got a lot of good wiggle room for him to get released. But he need the people, he need us behind him to push for his release, man, and try to fight for his release, get him lawyers and actually uh try to pull bro through. You know, he's just sitting up in there, and you got Ali that he want to run with the name, but he want to blackball and throw cats all up under under the bus. You know, you snitch, bro. Just stand up and tell people, yeah, I read it, I did this here, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and get that shit over with. You know, that's why cats stop fucking with you, because you was a rat snake, anaconda rat piece of shit. That's why cats parted and didn't want to have no dealings with you. You know, but that's not to say that he was part of the pound and they was cutting him out of the pound, because he was never part of the pound. He was just an associate, but can't nobody associate with an anaconda rat. And that's, I
They
don't get
say
it.
he helped build, the code he helped write swallowed him first. Witness recantations failed. He went to prison, and the empire he co-built kept growing without him. $1.5 million a week by 2004. 400 people involved. The machine didn't need its maker anymore. Let me tell you something that still doesn't have a clean explanation. July 18th, 2003. Bad Boys 2 opens in theaters worldwide. Directed by Michael Bay, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. $273 million at the box office. The fourth highest opening weekend for an R-rated film in Hollywood history at that point, behind only The Matrix Reloaded, Hannibal, and 8 Mile. And right there, in the first act, a Haitian gang called the ZOE Pound hijacks a
The Zoe
DEA
pound,
money
not Zoe
transfer
pound.
on the MacArthur Causeway. Car chase, shootout, Will Smith fighting them through the streets of Miami. The most secretive criminal organization in Florida. The organization that never wore colors, never threw signs, never admitted it existed on a Sony Pictures screen. In cinemas across the world. No consultant credit in the film. No licensing agreement on record. No statement from Jerry Bruckheimer Films explaining how a real gang's real name ended up in a $273 million blockbuster. The Zoe Pound Mafia biography, written by someone with direct access, states plainly that the organization garnered a featured segment for the Bad Boys 2 movie debut. That's the book's claim. Nobody from Hollywood has ever confirmed or denied it. I'll say this much. By 2002, when that film was shooting in Miami, Zoe Pound's name was already all over FBI files. Miami-Dade brief.
And this is something that people don't understand, right? Um, at that time when that film was put together, in that book that Ali wrote, Ali, he was trying to take ownership, and he said that he actually allowed them to do it, and they paid him 100 and some $1,000, right, for the use Zopal name in the movie. He tried to take the rights, you know what I'm saying, and say that he allowed them to do it. But when he get out, he tried to say that they didn't ask for no permission or nothing. The reason why is because Macazo, he owned the name for the record label. It was under Solo Mac. It was under Solo Mac, right? Whoever they had to take care of the registration, the LLC, they missed a step, and Ali, he had his people to look into it, and his people was like, "Oh man, you know what I'm saying? They don't own it. It's not there no more. You know what I'm saying?" So he had his people to go ahead and get the ownership, get the LLC, and get the trademark, right? So that's why Ali is so keyed in on Bad Boys 2 using the name, because he feel like by him owning the LLC to the name that, oh, you know, say y'all owe me something. Y'all didn't say y'all didn't ask me to use the name and this and that there. But this is what people don't understand, is that they never put the name up. They never use your trademark. Trademark is a way you present your name, right? So the way you write it, just like the McDonald's the arch in McDonald's, right? You got different types of McDonald companies, but the McDonald companies might be a truck tire service or auto parts service or whatever, clothing store or something, but they don't use the arch. They trademark the arch. You can't trademark a name. You know what I'm saying? You can trademark a symbol in the name, like the Z in Zopound or the ZP in Zopound, and you put it together, and that's your trademark. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You can't sue these people for using Zopound's name. Now you could put some street justice and try to pressure a person to be like, oh yeah, but it's too late for that because the film was already filmed and it's all gone, right? So it's too late for that. But like right now, you can't go back and get money for that because you know they didn't use your trademark and they wasn't speaking as a company or a business. They were speaking as a street group. So you can't trademark a street game. You know what I'm saying? They won't let you trademark an illegal organization. How the police put it, it's an illegal organization. You can't trademark an illegal organization. You feel me? So they have the rights to use the name, you know. But just like I said, when it come down to street justice can be like, no, and put down the no, y'all owe us something. But in actual legal terms, you ain't gonna be able to get no money from that, homie. You know. So Ali, you could drop it, and that's why I think that this dude is linked in and tied in with Ali and trying to tell Ali's side of the story, but he's giving false narratives and painting a whole fucked up picture. And that's how Ali moved. Ali, he when he wrote that book, Zopound Mafia, he went to a dude because Ali can't spell. You know what I'm saying? Ali can't spell. He barely can form a full sentence when he's speaking to where it's knowledgeable. So he go to other people and he try to broker a deal to get other people to do his dirty work so he could fall on them. Well, I didn't say this. They put that in that book. I didn't actually write the book. I had them. They wrote the book on my behalf. You feel me? So he's out of the loop, just like what he did with Vlad. Oh, I didn't say I was the founder of Zopound. Vlad said I was the founder. You know, but in the book you said you was the founder. In the book you said you was the leader. So hey, I'm just saying.
They ain't need no meeting. The streets had already told that story. And that's just how I see it. I could be wrong. But the fact nobody's ever really answered that question, it says more about ZOE Pound's reach than any raid ever could. Now, while Mac Zoe was behind bars, the organization's other arm was moving in a very different direction.
Zoe.
Music.
Zoe, man.
Entertainment, a legitimate label, or at least legitimately structured. Mac Zoe was directly associated with it even from prison. Their flagship artist, Red Eyes, was recording with Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, Pitbull, and Bun B. Mac Zoe himself was featured on the television series American Gangster.
When they said Zoe got locked up, he said that the pound ran off, the people ran off and left him behind. They didn't need him no more. Right? But now he come right back around. And he said Macazo was still doing dealings even from behind bars with the record label and all that. That's because Macazo owned the record label. He owned the trademark. You know what I'm saying? It was him and his brother, Solo, that owned the trademark, Solo Mac. You know what I'm saying? Solo Mac. That was him and his brother, Solo and Macazo, right? So they owned the trademark. And for to do music under that name, you had to deal with them. But when they dropped the ball, that's when Ali tried to run with it. But anyway, let's go.
He was giving interviews from inside a federal facility about his sentence, his appeal, his fate.
Mac is not in the federal institution. Mac is in the state. Mac is in the state. He wasn't in the federal institution. This dude is telling y'all a whole lot of shit. He's not, and I said he wasn't in the federal institution. He's not in the federal institution. He never was in the federal institution. Mac is doing state time.
In God, the man was incarcerated and still building a brand. Respect the work ethic, even if you can't respect the work. On the outside, Ali Adam was neck deep in the industry. Diddy parties in Miami, the white parties in the Hamptons. He released Freddie P from the band directly from Puff's contract. He mediated situations for Jim Jones. He handed Lil Wayne $230,000 to flip when Wayne was in the mud between Cash Money and his solo run.
That's another one where he fucked up at. When he got that from Ali interview, Ali stated that Lil Wayne gave him some money to flip in the streets because Lil Wayne and Baby was having a little run in, head bumping and stuff wasn't going good for Lil Wayne. So he gave him, you know what I'm saying, 300,000 to flip in the streets. And I even said that was that was kind of like underhanded snitching situation too. Even though they ain't gonna go back and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring this back up. But he throwing them boys under the bus can put a microscope on them for whatever they doing, and the people be watching. So that's what I'm saying. When why is you putting other people's name in illegal activity that people don't even ain't even looking at them on that aspect for? They're not looking at them on that level for it. But you're gonna say that this person was in illegal activity with you, and it's fucked up. So this dude took what Ali said and he flipped it around. He said that he gave, you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne 300,000, you know? So the stuff that this man is saying, he's flipping stuff up, he's changing. And if people listen to this, you will be confused at a whole lot of shit that's being said on this right here.
And then Wayne tried it. Wayne wouldn't cooperate on a music situation, kept playing games. So Ali printed 20,000 flyers. 20,000, distributed them across Miami. The flyers read, Cash Money must leave Miami or show Miami love. Then he found
I told y'all that he did that. He did that because Lil Wayne knew Ali wasn't really pound. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really pound.
on Wayne's Rolls Royce Phantom at a gas station.
And I just went on ahead and went and did that because they said that he burnt his car up at a gas station. They didn't burn. He didn't burn his car up at the gas station. He pulled gas. He had gas pulled in that man's car. It was a black on black Phantom. He had gas pulled in that man's car and lit on fire at the Portofino Yacht Club in Miami. That's what happened to Lil Wayne Phantom.
Lit it on fire. 20,000 flyers and an arson over a music deal. That is not a threat. That is a demonstration. That is Zoe Pound telling the most valuable artists in hip hop, you are in our city, and cities have rules. They reconciled on live.
Lil Wayne wasn't valuable at that time either.
Ali and Wayne on air in Miami, declaring the beef dead. Wayne still had Ali's $300,000 somewhere, but the point had been made. Bergman found out even earlier. Circle House dice game lost $28,000 to
Ali wasn't even at that dice game either. When Birdman was at that dice game, Ali was never at the dice game. The guy that I was telling y'all about that they gave Ali all that information, you know what I'm saying, that he put down in the book. That guy, he was actually at the dice game and he told Ali about it. That's how Ali even know about it, you know. But
Ali in one
let's go.
city. When Cash Money eventually moved their base of operations to Miami, when Lil Wayne and Baby and the whole operation relocated to the city, Zoe Pound laid the red carpet. Ali described it exactly. Zoe Pound, Miami. It was like, oh, they were y'all. That's Zound. They lay a red carpet for him. Y'all Gucci, right? It had become culture.
And this is crazy because just like I said, throughout this whole thing, all he been doing was going back to Ali. Ali said this, Ali said that, Ali said this, and Ali said that. If you're a real journalist, homie, why don't you reach out to Macazo and get Macazo's story? Why don't you reach out to all of these dudes that you said you got junk them right now? Junk and Kenny K, they got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of our differences, they got a podcast. Critical thinking. They got a podcast, man. I'll let that man get their sides of the story. Get Macazo's side of the story. Don't take no one person's side and then tell a whole story like you got everybody's side. You listen to everybody's side And then you dictate what's real and what's false and what you want to use and what you don't want to use. And then you put it out there, bro. So you can have a full story to tell people instead of jumping from one level to the next. You want to tell the story the right way.
The empire ain't fall from the outside, it fell from within. That's the thing about anything built on silence. When it finally breaks, it's not because of surveillance or some genius police work or the feds figuring it all out. No, it's because somebody talked, then somebody else talked, then another one did. June 2009, Fort Pierce, Florida. After more than a year of investigation, 6 of the highest ranking ZOE pound leaders in the area were arrested simultaneously. Fort Pierce Police Chief Sean Baldwin stood in front of cameras and said, taking down these particular 6 members of the ZOE pound gang is going to have a tremendous impact on the safety and security of the streets of Fort Pierce. He wasn't wrong about Fort Pierce. He just didn't know about everything else still running. Because while Fort Pierce was being celebrated as a victory, Ali Adams was still operating, still moving weight, still building, still untouchable, or so it appeared. Then came the BET Awards. Los Angeles. Ali walks out of the building. Federal agents are waiting. The charges read like a criminal career highlight reel. Kingpin, continuing criminal enterprise. Conspiracy to distribute over 6,000 kilograms of cocaine, money laundering, wire fraud, mortgage application fraud, 6,000 kilograms. To put that in perspective, the federal indictment covering the entire Booby Boys operation, the crew that raised Ali, covered 5 tons total over a decade. Ali's charges covered more than that. The student had exceeded the teacher. He was placed in solitary confinement, a one-man room, for 3 years and 7 months before.
Okay, he said that the man was placed in solitary confinement. Let me clear this up. Ali was in involuntary protective custody, right? He was in voluntary protective custody, and he didn't want to be there because he didn't want to be looked at as somebody that was scared and all this. They had him in there for like 3 years in involuntary protective custody, and it was because he had testified against one of the cartel boys. You know what I'm saying? He had testified. He wrote a statement against the cartel boy, and then he turned around and he said they supposed to been unalive one of the cartel boys. So the cartel had Mexican cartel. You know what I'm saying? They had a hit out on him. So that's why he said that he was in protective custody. But he was in protective custody because he that them was one of the some of the people that he testified against. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. On here, they trying to say that he was in solitary confinement for 3 years. They're not gonna put you in solitary confinement for 3 years. They passed a law to where they can't hold you in solitary confinement unless you meet a specific criteria. And if you in the feds, you're gonna be in 80 max. You know what I'm saying? Or you have one of them cases where you doing a life sentence and you a threat to the security of the institution. So they're not gonna just keep you just in solitary confinement like that. They're gonna put you on PC, or you're gonna be housed as a person like uh, uh um Jeff Ford, Larry Hoover, let me see, Wayne Perry, uh, you know what I'm saying? Those type of cats, you know. And Ali, he wasn't on that status for his persuasion. So he was in there locked up in solitary confinement under PC. It wasn't just solitary confinement, it was involuntary PC, just to get that clear.
Or sentencing even began. No general population, no yard, just a room and the weight of what was coming. And what was coming was 115 people, 115 cooperating witnesses, cousins, business partners, street level dealers, the 2 women who were mothers of his children, his cousin P. Jerome, his right hand Gray, airline workers, real estate attorneys, the broker who signed off on the houses, even his own accountant, the man who structured 123 homes, 2 Dairy Queens, a coin laundry, a record label, all of it built to clean money, All of it now evidence. 115 people decided that whatever loyalty meant, it didn't mean triple life. I'm going to be real with you. I don't even know how you sit in a one-man cell and process that. People who ate with you, moved with you, called you family, every last one of them, across the table from a federal prosecutor. Facing
This man said, G, Graylin Kelly, which is a beast. I'm gonna give that dude his roses. Graydon Kelly was a beast, right? This man said Graydon snitched on Ali. Graydon didn't snitch on Ali. Ali went to Graydon and asked Graydon to testify against the what's the name, Gary Supefront, which was the dude that was doing the mortgage stuff that he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? That broke up the corn laundry and all of that stuff. That had his hands in House of Fire. That was Ali record label, House of Fire Records, not Zopan. You know what I'm saying? So Ali had his own motion going on in Carol City. Zopan had their own motion going on in Little Haiti. They associated with Ali, but Ali was not a founder of Zopan. These are two separate people. People be thinking just because cats is Haitian and they deal with each other that they all under one umbrella. No, you know what I'm saying? That ain't how I go. But that's what it was, right? Grayland didn't snitch on that man. He didn't have 115 cooperating witnesses. He didn't have that. He had 14 people that snitched on him from his crew, which was the Carol City Cats. That was his Carol City homeboys. It wasn't no Zopound people, you know. It was his homeboy from Carol City, his cousins and all that stuff that snitched on him. But the thing is, how they find out his uncle was a part of it. Ali snitched on his uncle. Ali snitched on the Mexican dude that had hit them with a couple of bricks out there in LA. Ali snitched on Gary Supefront. Ali snitched on a lot of people. And that's how they hit him with 60 years for the CCE. He probably been doing 60 years. And then he got that shit knocked all the way down to where he only did 18 months. You know what I'm saying? And he did that from snitching. The paperwork is out there, homie. Ain't nobody fabricated that paperwork. You can dig it up yourself. Go on the government sites and type his name in and stuff, and you can dig his paperwork up yourself because I done already put it out there for y'all. If y'all don't believe what I put out there for y'all, go dig it up yourself. You know what I'm saying?
triple life, Ali accepted a 30-year plea deal at age 33. He later filed a motion, argued successfully that he was a supervisor, not the organizer leader of the money laundering scheme, and got 12 years removed. He served 18 years total.
They ain't saying nothing about a snitching though.
After his release is being broke, but going back, that's over with. And ZOE, he was released from prison, then reported.
ZOE is still locked up. He's in state prison system in Florida. He's not in the feds. And ZOE, he still got like, I think he got a couple of years knocked off, but I know he was sentenced to 198 years. But I think he had an appeal in, and his appeal knocked off a couple of his years. You know what I'm saying? But he's still doing a life sentence. So ZOE wasn't released. So that's a whole fabrication in itself.
Ali Adams said it plain. He gets deported when he gets out. The Bahamas, it's over with. He ain't seen America no more. The man who co-built the most feared Haitian organization in American history, who ran an empire from a federal cell, who gave interviews about his faith in God and his pending appeal, who had his name put in a Will Smith movie without anyone asking permission, deported to the Bahamas, not dead, not glorified, just gone. The founders are gone. The name remains. June 18th, 2018, Deerfield Beach, Florida, a 20-year-old rapper named Yase Onfroy, known to the world as XXX Tentacion, walks out of Reba Motorsports carrying a Louis Vuitton bag containing $50,000 in cash he had just withdrawn from his bank account. There is surveillance footage of every second of what happened next. An SUV blocked his BMW. Two masked men rushed him. They took the bag. Boatwright pulled the trigger. XXX Tentacion was pronounced dead at the hospital. He was 20 years old. His album, released 3 months earlier, had debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, and Dedrick Williams were convicted of first-degree murder on March 20th, 2023. Each received mandatory life sentences without the possibility of parole. All three were affiliated with ZMF, the ZOE Mafia family, a faction of Zoe Pound.
All right. Now we got another one. They trying to say ZMF was a fashion of Zoe Pound. ZMF is their own entity, right? Which was a gang that was started in prison. And ZMF, you don't have to be Haitian for to be a part of ZMF. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, even Zoe Pound had a couple of people that wasn't Haitian that was a part of it. It was just predominantly Haitians, right? So they wasn't the fashion of Zoe Pound. You know what I'm saying? Zoe Pound members is not a part of ZMF. They just try to equate the names Zoe. So they gotta be together. They not. They not. You know, Zoe Mafia family is Zoe Mafia family. Zoe Pound is Zoe Pound. True Haitian posse, true Haitian posse. You know, so I don't get what people always trying to equate that Zoe Mafia family and Zoe Pound is the same fashion or it's a fashion from Zoe Pound or whatever. You know, just because they both Haitian groups, they try to equate them as one big situation. That ain't how Zoe Pound rock.
Miami-Dade police described ZMF as the Zoe Pound identity fused with the BMF financial model, using rap music as a front while running active criminal operations. Members who didn't rap were enforcers. ZMF tags documented across Miami, Atlanta, and Memphis. 30 years after 19 boys found each other in a juvenile detention facility in Sabre Palm, 30 years after Zoe was just a word scratched into a wall, meaning bones, meaning we don't break. The name had traveled so far from its origin that it was now attached to the murder of one of the most streamed artists of his generation. That's not a legacy, that's a warning. Ollie Zoe Adam is in New York right now. 3-year probation, cannot return to Miami. 115 cooperating witnesses see to that. He has written 11 books. He is doing press. He is talking loudly and publicly about Haiti and politics and the music industry, what the streets cost you when you finally sit down and do the math. Zoe is somewhere in the Bahamas. No confirmed public presence, no interviews, no books.
That's
no
because he's
press.
still in
The
prison.
man the streets built their mythology around has no street left to stand on. And Zoe Pound, the organization they co-founded in a juvenile facility over 30 years ago, is still running. Federal convictions as recently as 2025. Active in Florida, the Bahamas, Haiti, and multiple states. The 19 people from Sabre Palm became something that outlasted all of them. One co-founder banned from his own city. One deported to an island. The organization still operational. The case is still ongoing. And somewhere in Little Haiti, on a wall, on a corner, spray painted in an alley that gentrification hasn't reached yet, it still reads Zoe Pound, inside the criminal empire of Zoe, the Haitian king who built Miami's most secretive gang.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing of what I don't get it. How you got this man did all this work. He said it's saying that Macazo is somewhere in the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? When Macazo is incarcerated. That lets you know one that he didn't do his journalism. You know, he giving out misinformation, and he's doing that because of somebody else. Somebody got in his ear and probably they was cool or whatever. And like, yeah, we got to put this out there and do this and do that. But he wanted his hands clean from whatever was going down. But Uh, the thing is, man, everybody that got older now. The Zopound, they older now. Cats is reaching 50 or in their 50s, and you got cats, man, that's working, cats that's deported. You got cats that's trying to make a living for their family now, and they not with the street stuff no more. You got a couple of cats that's still trying to hold on with old maintenance stuff and trying to hold on to their glory days, which is you don't get respect like that. You get respect when you turn around and you evolve and you start showing people that you a changed person. And that's what I be saying about Ali, right? He was saying that Ali is in New York, but Ali, he be moving around. Now you got to think about it. He got 3 years probation, and this dude moving around freely. He be in Carol City, he be in North Carolina, he be in LA, he be in New York, he be in Boston, and he moving freely. And he even on screen trying to extort Charleston White, right? Charleston White even put him on blast. But the man is still out. They still ain't snatched him up. And the reason why that is because of two things. Either he working for them people and he's setting people up, they using them to set people up, or, you know, they trying to basically uh use them as bait, and then they gonna snatch them up and lock them up when they done with them. Either way, it's like a pressure cooker waiting to happen. And you got a lot of people that say that they in the streets and that they've been to the feds, and you don't understand how this stuff is moving. And when that stuff blow back into your face, you want to holler about, oh yeah, this motherfucker this and this motherfucker that, and you want people to side with you and follow what you're saying. But you see right now that this dude, he's only for self, and he's waiting to self-destruct. He's going above and beyond to try to clean himself up and be solidified with the Zopound name. Ali got his own story. He could tell his own story, man. The dude had money. The dude had a team, even though his team turned around and snitched on him. He had a plug. He was supplying people with their work. He was doing all of that. He was dealing with celebrities and everything. He was doing that. Ain't nobody taking that from him. All people trying to say is that when it come down to Zopound, Ali is separated from them. Ali have his own thing. Zopound have their own thing. Uh, Kenneth Williams have his own thing. E4 have his own thing. Uh, 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 Fat Wayne, Plex, Nard, we gonna say Bubba. You know what I'm saying? From Liberty City. You know what I'm saying? With the John Does. All of these is different people, different groups, different crews. They don't have nothing to do with each other. But you got this man on here, he tried to equate it all and put it together. I had seen that stuff last night, man, and I had to get on here and do my last speech for us campaigning and stuff on that level. It just irked me that you got people that just get on this thing and just run with a narrative and try to push one narrative instead of talking to people, right? But just be on the lookout because you got cats rallying together. You know what I'm saying? You got cats doing different things, and it's about to come to a head where they finna come around and they finna actually start telling their story. They finna start putting out. Got a couple of movies finna get ready to come out. You know what I'm saying? Little short movies and stuff. Um, I just be on some stuff to be like, uh, I don't never want to glorify the my criminality. I don't want to glorify my criminality. I want to do it in a way where I can educate young cats that come up under me and educate them to what I did was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was a mistake that I knew was a mistake, but it was a mistake that took a whole lot out of me. And I didn't realize how much it took away from me until I got older, you know? So I want my story to be like a beacon of hope for kids to start changing who they are and start being better people. You know what I'm talking about? So like that's why when you look at my videos and stuff now, I don't really be on the negative. I always try to give you something about business. I try to give you something about growth. That's what I'm on. That's what my focus is. It's all about, because we got young kids, man, that's coming up. And how can we expect the young kids to respect us if we're not giving them something to respect? But I'm up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for coming in here vibing with me on this here journey. I hope I opened up some insight on this here for y'all and cleared up some stuff for y'all. But you know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all next time.